Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out Justin Trudeau as he's finally back from his vacation in Tofino and decided to do a little bit of press with Premier Doug Ford. Now, in typical fashion, he decided to not answer the questions that the media posed to him, and we're going to be starting off with this gem.
Hi, Prime Minister. Since June's by-election loss in Toronto, many in your caucus have called for change, whether that's to party leadership or to your senior staff or perhaps the caucus. You've had some time to think about this for the last 6 weeks, presumably. Can you tell me whether you're planning on implementing any changes that your caucus is looking for?
Well, one of the things that we've been focused on, not just over the past few weeks, but over the past many years, is making sure we're investing in Canadians.
Now, I'm going to guess that this man still has either sand or water trapped in his ears from his vacation, because the fact that that's how he's decided to start the answer, let alone the rest of the answer, which I'm going to play in a second, it's mind-blowing. The guy's had over 6 weeks, as the reporter stated, to come to some sort of decision or at least give a reasonable answer in regards to his cabinet, his caucus wanting potentially a shuffle, maybe talking about him stepping down, as we've seen with the letter that was signed and a lot of MPs that are leaving his caucus. And he's talking about how we're thinking about Canadians and we've been thinking about them for months, not if not years. And this is something actually I'm going to be addressing a little bit later in the video with another video from a conservative MP. But just listen to the rest of his answer.
This announcement today is a great example of how, from local MPs to ministers, we've all been working together to build a strong economy for the future at a time where Canadians are rightly concerned about this. And the conversations I have with members of my team leave me more optimistic and more focused than ever on fighting for Canadians every step of the way. We're going to continue to make sure that we're putting Canadians first in everything we do. That's the conversations I've had, and that's the commitment I've made to Canadians.
And this is why this media format of one question, one follow-up makes absolutely no sense. He starts off by saying that this press conference is an example of how local MPs and ministers are working together to help the economy. It made absolutely no sense, but because that was his follow-up question, he wasn't allowed to then push back and ask Trudeau or even challenge Trudeau on that question, because the organizer there right away said, next question. Like, it's an absolute joke that this is who we have running the country where he can't even answer a simple question. And he did this 6 weeks prior, if you don't remember, when he was asked the exact same thing after they lost that by-election. And the whole letter came out and the MPs were asking for the change then.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Marika Walsh with the Globe and Mail. Why are you refusing to meet with the National Caucus? Your MPs are calling for an urgent in-person meeting of all MPs. Why are you refusing? And do we interpret from that you don't care what they have to say?
Listen, let's be very clear. Last week's by-election loss, not to sugarcoat it, was challenging. It was something we need to take seriously, and we've been engaged in lots of important conversations. I've had lots of calls with different members of caucus from across the country, not just in the GTA, to talk about how we make sure we're continuing our work connecting with Canadians, to make sure we're continuing to deliver for people. There are, as always, a range of perspectives and voices within the Liberal Party, and listening to all those voices and giving them all time to engage is really, really important. And that's what we've been doing, and what I'm going to continue to do while we stay focused on delivering for Canadians.
Well, if it's an unrecognizable Canada, an unaffordable Canada, a crime-ridden Canada, then yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job delivering for Canadians, because this is what Canada seems to be now. You guys have these really stupid policies. StatCan just came out with a plethora of new information about crime, catch and release, domestic violence, yada yada, all these increases. And just 4 days ago or something like that, we had this story in BC about another catch and release system failure.
With No door in place, Ocean Garden Restaurant remains quite literally open for business.
A witness saw a man break a window with a rock.
It happened around 8:30 Wednesday morning. According to the business's social media posts, the owner writes a man proceeded to steal our live crabs, not our cash register, not our liquor or equipment, our crabs. 2 hours later, police arrested the suspect.
He was taken into custody briefly, and he was released on an appearance notice with conditions that included not to return to that business.
But 4 hours after that, he was back, this time with a smoke grenade in hand, throwing it into the restaurant during the lunch rush.
When these repeat offenders who are creating the vast majority of the problems aren't held in custody, and he comes back and does even greater damage. And we see this and we hear this from our businesses time and time again.
Victoria Police notes it operates under Bill C-75, which includes a principle of restraint that requires police to release an accused person at the earliest possible opportunity after considering certain factors, including the likelihood the accused will attend court, the risk posed to public safety, and the impact on the confidence in the criminal justice system.
We need senior levels of government to recognize the seriousness of this issue and take immediate and bold action.
BC's public safety minister was not available for comment, but in the past has pointed to its rebate program that allows businesses to apply for funding to cover the costs of property crime, vandalism, and prevention. It took officers until Thursday morning to locate and arrest the suspect a second time. Ryan Mulligan has now been charged with 2 offenses, including mischief under $5,000. And yet again, he's been released.
Like, let's break down how stupid this story is. You have the guy caught with a rock breaking a window of the business, so the door of the business. Then he goes in and he steals the crabs. You find him hours later, arrest him, give him some sort of court date, but release him. He returns then with a smoke grenade, deploys that. You again find him hours later, charge him with some fine that he probably is never going to pay or can't pay. It'll probably end up with the taxpayers that'll have to pay that. And then you release him yet again. And they said it's all because of Bill C-75. Well, if we take a look at that, as stated here, March 29th, 2018, the government introduced Bill C-75. What government was in power then? Could it have been the Liberals? I don't know. And it states here, the bail system is intended to ensure that a person charged with a criminal offense will attend court to answer to the charge. The accused will not pose a risk to public safety prior to their trial. Well, clearly that didn't work because you told him not to stay at the restaurant, and guess what? He went back. And C, the confidence in the criminal justice system is maintained with respect to whether or not the accused is detained in the time period before the trial. Even the police are saying how people don't trust the criminal justice system because of this stupid bail reform. But it's not like Trudeau wants to listen to anybody, even though that's what he states. But this is where I was talking about the Conservative member, Michelle Ferreri. She comes out with a video, I think it was 2 days ago, exactly asking that question. Are you guys actually listening to the people in your riding, in your constituency? Because if you were, I'm sure a lot of this would not be happening.
The summertime is a great time to reconnect and recalibrate the connection to the people, right? So you go into your constituency office, you're dealing with the face-to-face issues on the ground, like what's really happening, right? So often people in positions of leadership or power climb the ladder, they become heel clickers, and they don't really know what's happening on the ground, and they become disconnected from the impacts of their decisions. And I see it on my staff, like the team that I work with, like it takes a toll because every day it feels like it gets worse and worse and worse. The phone calls, the desperation, the dire straits people are in. They can't afford housing. They can't find housing. Addiction, groceries, seniors who don't have enough to make ends meet at the end of the month. You know, people are phoning in saying like, what do I have left? I'm going to have to apply for MAID. I'm going to have to kill myself. Like, these are real things people are saying. And it's been like this since I got elected, but it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse, right? Because nothing the government, the Liberal NDP government is doing and Justin Trudeau is doing is making any difference, because all he does is double down. He never has the ability to sort of say, hey, I guess I should take a look in the mirror, check my ego, realize like I am no longer serving the purpose that I was supposed to serve, or maybe this is his intention, and step away. And I guess the reason for this video is to the Liberals and NDP, like, are you spending time in your constituency? Are you listening to people? Who are you talking to? Have you been outside? Have you been to your downtown? Because mine's unrecognizable. And, you know, you're creating a lack of compassion. Like, the most non-compassionate thing you can do is inaction. And that's what this Liberal NDP government has done.
And this is unfortunately the sad state of affairs. But one thing that she mentioned there at the beginning was the summertime is where you kind of go back and rekindle with your constituency. You have the time off to integrate with people, talk to people. I don't even think they do that, because all they complain about is not having their vacation time, their summer break. You just heard that with a few of these committee hearings where they keep complaining that conservatives are trying to bring them back during the summer break for committee hearings when they deem that something might be important. And again, Trudeau, he's not listening to anybody because he was off in Tofino. As I stated, he probably still has sand and water in his ears because he can't understand these questions that are being posed to him, or what anybody's saying to him. But then he wants to double down, as you say, and reassure that they're doing everything, that they're trying to deliver the things for Canadians, and that they're listening, and something about the economy. I don't know. But as always, this is just my opinion on the whole situation. But I do love to hear from you guys, so please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you could, I'd appreciate hitting the subscribe button and the like button. It does help the channel grow. But as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.